Hello and welcome to episode 17 of Fresh 60 Fresh Server, where I teach you how to get your first million. We've been doing really well. We ended yesterday at looks like 554k. That was after spending some and remaking some legendaries. And let's start today with a thank you. I made a quick statement of saying, hey, let's hit that 500 subs so that I can get that community tab so that I can keep in better contact with you. And sure enough, we hit that 500 sub mark last night with absolutely no problems at all. So hopefully within the next week I'll have that community tab and I'll be able to, I don't know, do polls, ask questions, maybe, ask for ideas, other things of that nature, and just stay in better contact with those of you who are enjoying the content. So thank you. Again, that's awesome. That is our step one of our goals. Step 2, now we got to hit 1,000 so that you're at least eligible for monetization, so on and so forth, that kind of thing. But right now, we hit 500. I'm ecstatic. I get some new stuff to play with, and let's keep it going, right? All right. So with that, let's just go ahead and jump right into it today. Let's go ahead and start with our table. I've had a few discussions in different messages on some of the videos just about, some people being frustrated that it seems like all you can do is callings and tables right now. And well, you know what? You're not wrong. Unless you're one of those lucky few who have the ability to make good profits off of legendaries, you're right. There's not a lot of other options right now. There's a couple mounts, there's a couple other things that you can farm and do. Whether it's Strange Goop or the Thundering Cloud Serpent or other things like that. But in general, yeah, there's not a lot of gold making right now. I really wish I could put out some new or different content, maybe related to pre-patch or something to that effect around gold. But until I get into beta, and until, maybe the pre-patch events and stuff hit PTR, there's not a lot I can do right now. So we're just going to keep at it. So let's take a look at our mailbox from yesterday. I will grab all expireds. As you can see, we did pretty well. It doesn't look like, sorry, I'm changing topic, but not just was that farm yesterday bad, but we didn't even sell everything. So yeah, I got to repost some of that stuff. So it was really bad. However, as you can see from our mailbox from yesterday, we had 3 of the legendaries. I think all 3 legendaries I crafted yesterday all sold. The only one left up there is the one that I've had up there like for the last week. This one right here, which still has insane profits, so it's not a big deal once it sells. But anyway, this is looking good. The fact that we're still selling these means I need to kind of get over it, and I need to just keep making them while they're making really good profit on this server. Again, I don't like being stuck on resources. I don't like being stuck on... I'm not the kind of person who's going to go out there and make like 2 of every legendary, and then once everybody stops buying them, I'm just stuck with them. I really don't like doing that. I like to see my gold count high. I don't like to spend if I really think that the market's going to crash. I kind of did, and it did crash, but then it's popped back up. So since this market has re-emerged on this server, I need to take advantage of it and really try to push out some 291s this week. Just because, as you can see, we made 72k yesterday. It's mostly the farm that we did yesterday, as well as those few legendaries. Looks like a couple desolate pieces too. Let's grab all this and see our new total. New total of 627,000. We are well on our way to that first million. It can easily be gotten by the end of the weekend if I want to, without a doubt. Looks like the calling that's ending today is going to be Bastion. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that real quick. And then we're going to go back to Orgrimmar to the auction house so that I can repost and recraft. Alright, we went ahead and we have reposted. Let's take a look at our TSM restock. Let's go through this. Again, the blue gear, whether it's the 87 or the 262, does not sell on this server. So I don't make any of it anymore. I still have pieces left from that first week that we were doing this, so Again, oh, okay, that's better profits. I might actually make some. Um, yeah, I might actually make some of that profit. That's getting better. We'll try it. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Only had 2 desolate pieces sell from yesterday. We'll go ahead and recraft those. I'm not going to make the 235s. Not going to make that 235. So we have 291s that we need to create. That means one of them have dropped below profit. But again, huge profit margins, so I'm okay with that. I'm going to go ahead and craft this full list and get this stuff reposted. And I'll see you after that. Everything has been reposted. It's time to take a look at our thread flippers, see how they did. Looks like the flux I put up yesterday all did not sell, but I did have, hopefully, all the thread that I put up. Yeah, I have 21,000, so it looks like I definitely had the thread. I already saw on the auction house that the thread, at least at the moment, is at a really good price. It's like at 980 or something. However, that means that there's some idiots probably going to come around and post stuff at like 950 like they like to do. So putting 2,000 up at the cheapest price, it might end up sitting there, you know, because a whole bunch of people are going to notice and they're going to come post stuff under it to get a quick sale, thinking that that's how it works, which it's not. Just post it at the same price, you idiots. Alright, so enough of that rant. But that kind of crap happens like every single time. So let's take a look here. Down to 8. I mean, 8 is okay. It really is. It just needs to sell. And it hasn't been. Let's post those. And look at that. Even the ones at 880 all sold. I don't know if I want to post everything. You know what? No, just in case. Let's post all of that at 990. I probably shouldn't have done that. I have a strong feeling somebody's going to easily come post under that, because that's like an exceptionally good price up on the auction house. I think that was dumb. That was a mistake. I think somebody has to post under that, and then those are all going to end up sitting there. I should have posted like 500 or 1,000 and checked in a little bit. So a note to you guys, especially if you do the same thing I'm doing today, and you've been doing the thread like I have, don't do what I just did. Looks like some's gonna sell anyway. Oh my god. Well, as I say that, 1,176 of it just sold. That's awesome, because that's making an absolute killing. I'm gonna make good money off of that. But I wouldn't have done that. I really think I should have put up like 500, made sure it sold, because it's only going to take a couple people to come and start posting massively under that, and then those are just going to end up getting stuck there. I'm assuming you guys know what I mean. Like, there's a high likelihood that this gets stuck there. We'll see. But I sold most of it at that price, so that's going to make up for it for sure. But anyway, if I did that again, I would have maybe posted a smaller amount, make sure it sold, then posted a little bit more, just to avoid losing the deposit costs, because that's kind of what I'm worried about. But either way, we'll take that. Before I go over to my other character, actually, I'm going to go over there real quick. Okay, we're on our druid. Wanted to take a look at a couple things. I wanted to point out, I made the video, last week on the turtle scales, and if you remember, I sold most of them at like 22, 23 gold per. Look what's happened. People caught on. Not enough people watch my videos, so it definitely wasn't me who got people to do this. Maybe just people started noticing. But we made extremely good gold, and now you can see this market has absolutely crashed. At least comparative to where it was when I did the video on it. Right now at this, I mean, you're talking about 1/4 to 1/5 of what we were getting. I believe we made 12 or 13,000 off of it. So I mean, you're still going to gain 4 to 5,000 off of the turtle scale, and then the other stuff. You got to remember that was like what, a 16 to 18k farm for us. Well, yeah, you probably just lost nearly 8,000. It's still potentially an 8 to 10,000 gold farm, as insane as that is. but you definitely lost an awful lot of your profits by this dropping. I had thought about doing this again today, but then I've been paying attention to the prices and they keep going down, so I'm like, well, there goes that, right? So that market is not good enough for me right now. And that's usually something like if I'm going to go farm, that's all I pay attention to is I go around, I look through the trade goods, I look at different leather. A lot of it comes from just general knowledge and understanding of what things typically go for or what you've sold stuff for, which is why it's nice when you have data to back it up, right? Like I have the data when I scroll over turtle scales because I've done it before. I see, oh wow, last time I sold these, I was selling these at 22, they're at 5. Probably not a good farm right now. I can see, whether it's medium or whether it's heavy, kind of like where I was selling them at, where they're selling at now, not good. You're noticing most things like that kind of across the board where a lot of things have taken a big hit. Something else that I see as I'm looking at this, though, is I see that heavy hide is at 89 gold, right? Cured heavy hide is at 122. Isn't that a flip? Oh, maybe I gotta type in cured. Yeah. Oh no, it's not on this character. Damn it. That's why I can't find it, because I don't have normal, like, Cataclysm, I guess, technically, whatever, base game, vanilla, whatever you want to call it, leatherworking. That's on my actual druid. I couldn't remember what you needed to make cured heavy hide. I'm actually going to type it into Google real quick while I'm doing the video. Let's see here. What is that? What does that require? That requires 3 salt and a heavy hide. If that requires 3 salt and a heavy hide, I'm pretty sure salt costs like nothing off the vendor. So that's potentially just a flip for gold, right? So it looks like you may be able to go onto here, buy some heavy hide, and flip it into cured. Honestly, how much is here? Oh, there's only 5 there. But even at that price, like, on my other server, I would do something like this to make sure I got those profits, maybe buy all of this out, reset it, move this up, as well as make these all into cured, and then post the cured at slightly more. Yeah, you're not going to make a killing, but right now, making an extra 25 gold or something off of an item right now is actually kind of huge. So you could be looking for things of that nature. There's other items you can do that with. That's just one I looked up and saw they were close together, and it looked pretty obvious to me. So there's those kind of things you can look for, but usually what I'm looking for is I'm just looking at items I know the general price of, and that just comes with trial and error, doing the farms myself, so on and so forth. And I'm looking for things that may be selling over where I think they should. But anyway, enough of that. For today's farm, actually I wanted to check one other thing. Let's take a look. How is that mount doing? The Thundering Cloud Serpent is relatively easy to get. I might end up farming one on this character. I might even do it solo. It'll take me a little longer, but honestly, you can still get one at a... I bet you if I did it solo, there's no way it takes me more than 4 hours, like at the absolute most solo, as long as I can get them to hyperspawn. As long as I can get them to hyperspawn, it shouldn't take longer than that. With even just one other person, you can probably do it in like 2 hours, if you get a little bit of luck. I don't like doing it 5-man. I just don't feel like I get more loot. I feel like people are too far away. I don't know. That's a different topic. Long story short, this at 45k is a pretty good price, and it's not that hard to farm. If you just do the math on that, if that took you 4 hours, that's still well over 10. It's over 11k, per hour. That's actually pretty good, but there's no way I don't think it's going to take you that long, especially if you do it with even just a couple people. the gold per hour of getting something like that. So in this situation, if there's only 2 people on my, 2 people selling them right now at this good price, plus this one's at 45 and that one's at 60, yeah, that might be worth my time to go out and farm. Let's look at another one. I thought about doing it on this character. Holy mother. Strange Goop at 175, guys, on this server. Nikes. I think I think I might end up having to try to farm a Strange Goop on this character. That makes me sad because I have over 9 hours in on my main fisherman on my main server, and I have never gotten one to drop. So how many dang hours is it going to take me to get one of these? I mean, at this price, it could take me, 17 hours, and it's still a good farm. But I think we've discussed my luck is pretty bad. I kind of suspect it'll take me that much to get it, to be quite honest. However, getting one at any sort of normal pace, this price is insane. It's over double. It's a double or so of what it is on my main server. So I may want to farm one of these out, because that's a fast 100 one. Not fast. That's good profit, especially if you can get it to sell. I don't know how quickly they sell on this server, but at 175k, I think I might be willing to try. So, dang. Do I want to try this, start doing this today? No. We're going to do another farm. Most of the skinning is pretty bad right now, to be quite honest. So I was thinking, oh wow, that's a good price. Primal Airs are a pretty good price right now, comparative to where they normally are. Yeah, I think that's what we're doing. I think that's what we're doing. All right, out to farm. Alright guys, we are in Shadow Moon Valley in Burning Crusade, out here. You just go to Shatrath, fly out to Shadow Moon. It's this little area that we're going to be going in, and we're going to be killing these enraged air spirits. And let me go ahead and do /M, by the way, which I just learned. It can bring up the macro. I didn't know you did not have to type it in. You learn something new every once in a while. That's awesome. So we're going to go ahead and switch our macro to target the enraged, and we're going to start the farm. So again, I always do a 1 hour farm. Oh, that macro didn't work. Did I not save it? And look at me, I just typed in macro again. Should have /target enraged, right? Because I'm not on the ground, maybe? There we go. That worked. Let's go ahead and restart that and get onto it. So, I'm just going to fly around and murder me some enraged spirits. And we will see how much I can get doing this solo in 1 hour. Wish me luck. So, pro tip, these nether skate things, they drop, which you didn't see there, but not just do they drop motes of mana, but you can actually skin them as well. So, I should have been paying attention to that before, and when I came through here, I should have been killing all of them and skinning them just to get that much more out of the farm. So, again, do as I say, not as I do. We're going to kill and skin those, just for a little bit of extra gold. See if I can get one to drop motor mana. Nope, of course not, because, I went to record this time through the route. So, either way, you can get motes of mana, as you see there, and then you can skin them as well. So, go ahead and do that. Alright, so here we are after our haul out there on that farm. I don't think we did too bad. We got about 55 knot hide leather after I remembered I needed to kill those as well. We got 165 motes of air, which is enough for 16 of the primal airs, we have 25 motes of mana, a few essence of air, and then one random nether dragon scale because I, skinned it on the way and it dropped. So, I know that these motes of air are selling for a lot more, but who's gonna buy motes of air at double the price? So I'm not exactly gonna leave a lot of these motes of air. I'm probably just gonna leave the 5 and call it good. There's a higher likelihood that I'm going to sell the primal airs, but again, this is one of those things that, let's say my motes of air do sell at this increased price, maybe I'll leave it like that. Maybe I'll leave 15. I'll leave 15 for now. Like, for instance, if these sell at an increased price and these don't, you can always pull these down and do it that way. But anyway, let's go ahead and turn all these in and see what the gold per hour was on this. So let's see, let's say 1,000. Quick math, right? Let's say 1,000 gold there. I also got about 200, so let's say about from selling to the vendor. So yeah, let's say about 1,200 gold total. Yeah, these primal airs, that's pretty good. Let's say 7,000. Let's just say 7,000. So we're at about 8,200 at that price. Let's say about 84. Already better than yesterday, right? 85. Do these. We're up to about 86. Yeah. So let's just say just around, just to make things easy, not exact. I don't think anybody needs those kind of numbers. You're looking for a general idea, and you're looking for a general idea because things fluctuate, right? That was about 8,500 gold. 8,500 in gold in total, which isn't that bad. Again, in this market, 8,500 gold really isn't bad, which is sad, but it just isn't. Like, that is fairly time efficient for what you could do. I mean, I could make more gold than that by doing typical callings on like 5-6 characters in an hour. You got to keep that in mind. I will again say doing your tables and your callings is by far the first thing you should do, especially if you're efficient at it. If you're efficient at doing those, that should be your number one priority almost always. If it wasn't for making a video and I needed gold, that's what I would be doing with 15 characters. Like, if I really wanted to make gold, I would just, more cases than not, I would be pushing through callings because I can make more in an hour doing that than I can doing this, especially depending on what it is, right? For instance, the one today for Bastion was the one where you fill up the bar, so that allows you to grab the treasures, Granted, other than that zone specifically, which kind of sucks for treasures, most of the other zones, like, you're going to make so much more gold that way if it's not like the complete 3 world quests. Obviously, you can have an area with complete 3 world quests and all 3 of them suck. It's a little bit more time consuming and none of them give gold. Like, there is obviously situations where that doesn't work out as well. There was one last week that I can't even remember where it was. I don't even remember what zone it was, but it was awful. Like, it took like 20 minutes to complete the stupid thing. So I only did that on like my main couple of characters and I was done because, a lot of these days I can complete them at most 15 minutes, but a lot of times in like, 7 to 10 minutes, At that rate, you can normally make some pretty darn good gold per hour. So again, take everything with a grain of salt. I don't mean that callings are always the best, but they really are most of the time, in my experience anyway. Most of the time, they are your best option. So go ahead, I'm running a cancel scan. I'm going to repost. Let's grab everything that's canceled. Looks like, oh yeah, all those drums I already made. Hey, we even had one of our legendaries sell. So it looks like I'm going to have to remake that again as well. So I'm going to post this stuff, and after I post this and probably remake that one legendary, I think that's the one that I've had like all week, but regardless, it sold, so I will remake it. So let me go ahead and do that real quick, and I'll meet up with you after that. Alright, everything has been recrafted and posted. Everything's up. We have a decent amount on the auction house. I have a little over 600,000 right now. We have quite a bit up on the auction house. We have like 5 legendaries up there, all with really good profits. Hopefully I can get some more sales. We already had 1 sell today. We also have, 8,500 or so gold worth of stuff we just farmed. Yeah, things are looking good. If I decided I wanted to push harder, there's no reason I can't get over that million mark by the end of the weekend. I don't think I'm going to push that hard, to be honest. There's other things I want to do. A lot of things on the list. I still need to go over to my main server and kind of like finish my, daily routine that I need to finish over there. And get all that settled. My main server's not making good gold on the auction house. It's really just callings and tables right now over there, which sounds bad but isn't, because when you can make 7 to 10k each time you do your tables, I typically do them 2 times a day, you're looking at 15 to 20k there. That's way more than enough in a day for a token. And then I typically do a calling like today, the one that's Bastion. Like I'll do that on 4 characters typically, is what I do. And if I have extra time, if I have something that's in that covenant, I might do it as well, just because they're right there. It just depends on how easy it is, but like today, that's probably the case. So you can think about 1,500 at the lowest. Sometimes it's upwards of 2,000. It depends on which one it is, but that's like 6k gold a day plus the minimum of another 15. So like for me, that's a minimum of 21k a day, upwards of 30k a day if I do nothing else other than just tables and callings on 4 characters. But it's usually more than that, right? It really is usually more than that. It usually probably gets around that 30k plus the random stuff I get along the way, whether there's treasures or whether there's, boxes to open that have materials in them that I sell in the auction house. So it's like, for me, there's almost no way I don't make, 30k a day at the absolute worst in about, that's probably an hour's worth of play, maybe a little bit more. Maybe just a little bit more. Maybe an hour and 20 minutes at most. Yeah, so for me, it's not too bad to make gold. Over here, obviously, if you're able to sell legendaries and do things like that, you can make even more. I have things on the list that I'd like to do. Farms for this character or in general that I show you guys are going to be really dependent on what's selling well or what looks like there can be good profit. Obviously, we ran into the turtle scale one last week. That made insanely good profit for that farm. That's now much lower, not as worth it. We just did primal manas today, or excuse me, primal airs, because they were inflated a little bit, but even that wasn't insane. Farming is going to be hit and miss. Again, I say it like every episode, but it is true. If I can do something like sit around in town and craft the desolate treads by buying stuff off of the auction house and make like 6, 7, 8k an hour, depending if you can snipe stuff at good prices, why in the world would I go out and try hard to make 8k an hour when I can sit in town and make 6 and auction house scan? That's my personal opinion on that. To each their own, but that is personally just how I feel about that kind of thing. It's really server specific. This server, I already showed that the Thundering Cloud Serpent's at a decent price, and I think it's even higher than that on my main server. That tells me that if I'm gonna go take the time to go farm one, now's the time. I can gain a little bit more than normal for it. It's all things like that nature, like that in nature. Looking today and seeing on this server, first time I'd even checked, but I saw that the strange goop is pretty darn expensive over here in my opinion. That might be worth my time to head out there and spend the hours to get one. Again, I've never gotten one to drop. I have 9-ish, a little over 9 hours I think, on my main character trying to get one to drop, and I've still not got one to drop. So that's the only thing keeping me from being like, wow, that's 175k, let's go out and farm one. Because regardless of what people on Wowhead or anywhere else say, I don't have luck in this game, and I can't get shit like that to drop. It just doesn't happen for me. And that's the only thing that keeps me from trying, because every time I try, it doesn't work out. So I was thinking about that, being like, maybe I should put in some hours this weekend on this character and see if I can't get one. That way I at least have it up on the auction house just in case I can sell it, because you know, depending on how fast you can get it, let's say it did sell at 175k, you know, it could take me 17 hours and I would still make 10k an hour, right? Like, that's good gold. Obviously, should take me a lot less than that, which would equal even better gold per hour. So I'm considering things like that. I mean, I don't know if I'm just going to sit around and record that much footage until I get one. Probably not, right? I'm probably just going to do it and then maybe record and go, woohoo, I got one. But yeah, so yeah, other than that, it's waiting, hoping that stuff gets put up onto the PTR so I can check out and see if there's any ability to make gold. It's waiting for hopefully getting into beta so I can mess with stuff myself. I have a lot of thoughts and opinions about kind of where the WoW community is talking about right now in regards to the changes to the item level in which crafted gear is at. You know, I had said in a post or something yesterday that people needed to chill out about it. I don't know how anybody ever thought that Blizzard would allow you to craft gear equal to mythic level quality, or at least why would they ever let you craft that gear without doing mythic stuff yourself? That doesn't make sense to me. How anybody would expect that or want that is just beyond me. So what, you guys want to gear out and complete the game in the, you know, first 2 weeks that it comes out? I don't know. I just don't get people's opinions on that. So anyway, I believe even since this recording, Blizzard has kind of come out and talked about, hey, these changes were just, you know, the first step of many, because we're kind of lowering and they're kind of squishing it down a little bit just so that we don't inflate our item level too quickly, which, again, makes total sense. They've also come out and talked about how if you're going to be doing these crafting methods in Dragonflight, you know, and how can I explain this? So, the crafting orders. If you're going to be doing a crafting order, the bind on pickup materials have to be more than likely, or not more than likely, more often than not, I guess, will have to be supplied by the person who is actually buying the item and not the crafter themselves. So you as a crafter are not going to be able to go out and get those, you know, mythic quality materials and then make a mythic quality item, you know, for somebody as their, you know, let's say they're a fresh 60, they order a mythic quality item from you and you use your materials. It's not going to work that way. The person who is buying is the one who is going to have to supply the bind on pickup materials, mythic quality or not. That's the way it's going to work. That's the way I assumed they were going to do it. I don't understand how they would ever not make it in a way that they're gonna require you to do the content, right? They need you, not need you, but why would they ever give gear to somebody without that person doing part of that content themselves? And I'm specifically talking about like those mythic materials and things like that. It's one thing of giving people up to like a normal heroic gear, but mythic gear is different. You want those people who run that content to feel like, honestly, they want them to feel like they're better than other people, or that their time isn't wasted by doing and enjoying that content. It's what makes sense. It's what makes sense to me too. So I was never worried about it. I thought it was odd when they lowered the item level, but I honestly just assumed that there was other plans, and look at that. Like the next day or two, they pop out and say, hey, we're going to be squishing other stuff. This was just the first step. So, yeah. Chill out when you see changes. That's my only point. Like, allow them to make some iteration, okay? Oh, man, goodness. Anyway, that being said, I think probably tomorrow I would really like to make a video talking about how I feel the Modern Warfare 2 beta is going, but not just the beta, just where I think the game's at, and my opinion as a casual dad gamer. Just because there's some things that I don't feel the same way other creators have been making content about it, and I don't feel the same way they do, and I'd like to put my opinion out there because I'm tired of seeing just this one narrative get pushed. to where I think there's other opinions out there, and I wonder if other people feel the same way I do. So I'm going to make something about that. It's the same kind of stuff I see in WoW too. You see one negative thing happen, and then all the creators jump and dogpile it. It's just happens all the time. I find it very just draining to see that constantly happen, regardless of what game it is. But that's a different subject. I don't want to get too far off topic. Anyway, guys, with that, I want to thank you all again for helping me hit 500 subscribers. That is going to allow me to get the community tab. That way I can keep better in touch, especially during the week when I'm unable to post videos most of the time. That way I can still have conversation, maybe ask what people are, just ask opinions, ask about farms, do polls, all of those fun things. I can't think of everything I want to do with it right now, but you get the gist, right? So thank you. I appreciate it. Our next goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers. I want to hit 1,000 subscribers. I need to make a YouTube, or excuse me, not a YouTube. I need to make a Discord for everybody. That is something that's going to be in the works. And yeah, hopefully we can get that before Dragonflight. If not, it's all good. It's a slow process. I ain't worried about it. I'm just enjoying making content. So with that, thank you. Please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what I could do better. Let me know what you would like to see. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, let me know what I can do to get you to do so. So with that, I will see you in the next one.